it's coffee time. And I had a really good night last night. Last night, I hung out with Tierney, and she and I just kicked it and, like, caught up and chatted for a while. Our moms took us to dinner, which was dope, because our moms are really good friends, so they were like, oh, we should all grab food together, and we were like, well, if you insist. So we wound up getting food, and then I went back to her place, and we chilled. I had her watch the first 2 episodes of American Horror Story, and she was like, this is creepy, but it's interesting. But then we turned on Family Guy so that we had something that we could talk over. Because Family Guy, first off, we've both seen almost every single episode, and second off, it's one of those shows where you don't need to pay a ton of attention, so we were like, we'll turn something on for background noise, but for the most part, we just got to sit around and chat for a while, which was really fun. But we did have to get up early this morning, and she is such a saint. Got up really early and made breakfast for us, so by the time I got up, she was like, coffee? I was like, yeah. We had discussed making a coffee video, but the timing was really bad because she had to work for most of the day yesterday, and then she had to work early today. So we were like, well, next time, I guess. Next time we see each other, we'll do a coffee video together, but she's as much of a coffee fiend as I am. She loves it, so... But yeah, so we got up and she took me home, and then I went grocery shopping with my mom, but tonight is my last night, so my brother and sister-in-law, Jared and Amanda, came over, and they made the best food. Oh my goodness, I had never had Delcata squash before. Isn't that what it's called? Now I'm second-guessing myself. It's really good, though. I think I spent a lot of my life thinking that all squash was the same. And I feel like just in the last 5 years or so, I've wound up eating a lot of different types of squash, which is really cool. It's really nice because some squash you can eat the skins, some squash you can't. Some squash is really good mashed, some squash comes out stringy like spaghetti squash. It's just they all have similar aspects to them, but they all taste different and they all have different textures. So I was really excited to try Delcata squash, and it was so good. And the other thing that she made, oh my goodness, I had so much of this. I ate so much. The other thing that she made was hazelnut crusted chicken. It was like hazelnut flour around the... She like dipped the chicken in egg and then put hazelnut flour on the chicken, and then browned it a little bit, and then threw it into the oven. It was so good. It was so good. And all day I kept being like, like my stomach is not feeling super great, but for lunch I had all of the spaghetti leftovers, and then for dinner I had 3 helpings of this food. It was out of control, but so delicious. I'm trying to remember what, like, if you wanted that recipe, what you should look for, because she found it, but I couldn't find it on my own. She told me, like, what keywords to put in there, and I couldn't find it, so it's not, like, something that's super easy, but if I do find it, I'll link you guys. At the very least, I'll link you on Twitter, because it was so good. It was so good. But tomorrow morning, I'm going to be getting up early so that I can hang out with my daddy for a little bit before I go home. But yeah, it's really fun being home. It's always so quiet here. It's always something that I have to get kind of used to, because I forget that it's not normal to constantly hear cars, which sounds so silly, but I don't know. I spent my whole life, like, growing up here surrounded by woods, and now I wind up living somewhere where there's always noise. Always noise. So whenever I come home, it's always just like, it's so quiet. It's crazy. But I really like it. I think that wherever I wind up settling down will probably be quiet like this, because it's just what I prefer. It's what I grew up with, and it's what's comfortable for me. Kinder and I were kind of talking about that. We're both we like quiet places, even though he grew up in the city, which is funny. But, yeah, so, gonna leave the family behind. I still love the bangs. My dad keeps being like, they make you look so young. And I'm like, yeah, but I like them. They do make me look younger, though, for show. But that's okay. I like them a lot. They make me happy. So I'll just have to get over the fact that I will continue to be asked for my ID no matter where I go. Just like normal. That's the thing. Because I'm like, I already looked young. Like, once again, I know I already said this yesterday, but it's just funny to me. But yeah. I'm just going to be hanging out with my mammoth and my papeth for the rest of the night. And then getting up and hanging out with them again until I leave. That's what I got going for me. But I should be home. I get home in the evening at some point, so I should be home in time to still make a video tomorrow. I'm not sure. It depends on how I partition out my day, whether I wind up making it here and uploading it or making it in Cali and uploading it. But either way, it'll happen. It'll be a thing. That's it. I'm gonna go so that I can hang out with them some more while my mom watches soap operas. Oh my gosh, we found two shows that I watched so much of that by the end I was like, I can't think normal thoughts. The first show is called World's Worst Tenants, and it's an incredible show. The lead dude is like a little too intense, but that show makes me feel like I am the best possible tenant ever. Like, oh my goodness, just, if you can, just watch it. And then the other show was Tattoo Nightmares, and that show was not intense at all. Like, the other one was, like, super intense all the time. The Tattoo Nightmares is really cool because it focuses on people that specialize in covering up old tattoos. So people come in and they're like, I tattooed this guy's name and his face on my back. Can you cover it up with something? And they're like, I'll try. And it always comes out, like, amazing. Actually, there was one that I thought looked terrible. Like, the starting product was horrible, and then he was like, look, I finished it, and she was like crying. She's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful, and they showed it, and I was like, that's still pretty dumb looking. I'm sorry, I don't feel that, but all of the other ones were really good. So those are my two shows that I think you guys should totally watch. Just suggesting those today, and now I'm gonna go, but I hope you guys had a great day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Wish me luck traveling. Okay, bye bye. Mwah.